Data Daddy case study on Vibe Tandem. From a startup LLC to an IPO-ready enterprise. The founder's journey and vision. Introduction. I am the founder of and a U.S. Army veteran and community activist, transitioning into a data scientist. I'm currently in training. After my military service and my grassroots community work, I pursued higher education at via Penn State World Campus for functional data analytics degree, and now I'm headed into Carnegie Mellon Master's in Applied Data Scientist Maths program, with ambitions for a future PhD. This is my personal journey of discipline, service, and continuous learning that shaped my mission of Vibe Tandem, the startup I founded. Vibe Tandem began as a humble LLC, but with my unique background, I gave it a big vision to evolve from a local notary service to a scalable data-driven enterprise platform. My story is one of leveraging personal growth to drive business growth, translating lessons from the field, the community, and the classroom to an entrepreneurial mission. The result is a company rooted in trust, innovation, and social impact, aiming to help individuals and businesses transition from old school paper processes to high-tech data-powered future. In this case study, we will break down Vibe Tandem's business model evolution in 4 phases, aligned with Christopher's visions for growth. Each phase builds on the last, moving the company from a one-person service into a potential IPO-ready enterprise, all while staying the true course and mission that was driven by myself from my community. Segment 1. Notary Services to Remote Online Notarization, RON. In its first phase, Vibe Tandem started with the basics. It's looking to become a traditional notary services. I see how often my community struggle to find a convenient notary, so I launched Vibe Tandem as a local notary LLC. The vision from day one, however, went beyond stamping papers in person. I envisioned a remote online notarization as the future, allowing people to get documents notarized via secure video calls from anywhere. This was the seed of Vibe Tandem's growth plan. Vision for growth. Translation from local notary to an online platform that can notarize documents 24/7 for anyone, anywhere. This meant developing an integrated, secure video conferencing, digital signature, check, and ID verification. The goal was to democratize access to notary services, especially for clients who are remote or mobility challenges, aligning with the founder's first community's first mindset. Market opportunity. The market opportunity for RONs has exploded in recent years. Laws have been catching up to tech. By 2023, many of the U.S. states enacted RON legislation. Even California approved remote notarizations. The COVID-19 pandemic greatly accelerated demand, with the digital notarization surging 600% in 2020, according to the industry reports. By 2023, the leading RON startup Notarized reached an estimate of $80 million in revenue, growing 33% year over year. This signals a booming market for newcomers. Vibe Tandem aimed to capture a slice of its growing pie by starting a underserved local markets niche customer segments like veterans and local businesses, and then expanding outward. Competitor and benchmark. A key industry benchmark is to notarize, founded in 2015, which pioneered online notarization. Notarized success is a $760 million valuation by 2020 and 225 raised, proving that digital notary service can scale. And another competitor, Notary Cam, reported a 46% expansion in its customer base in 2023. executing RON transactions in 160 plus countries. These examples set the bar. Vibe Tandem would need to offer comparable security, legal compliance, and ease of use and compete. However, Christopher's local insight and personal approach could differentiate Vibe Tandem by focusing on community relationships and trust. Vibe Tandem's RON services can build loyalty in specific markets for competing nationally. Operational and technical strategy. Early on, Vibe Tandem would leverage existing RON platforms and partnerships to get started. For example, using licensed e-notary software while gradually developing its own proprietary RON system, showing that top-notch security, encryption, and secure cloud storage and notarized docs, and the legal compliance in each state is crucial. Christopher data science training is an asset here. He can implement analytics and motor usage to improve user experience. Operationally, the strategy involves recruiting and training the network of certified notaries who can serve clients via platform on demand, essentially creating a virtual notary office by starting locally, offering RON and to local real estate firms, banks, and community members, and providing superior customer service. The company builds a foundation to scale. Revenue potential. Digital notarizations typically earn fees per transaction. Vibe Tandem can generate revenue through notarization fees, perhaps $25, $50 per online notarization, and even subscription plans for businesses. Bulk document notarization packages. With RON, one notary can serve 4 more clients per day than a traditional in-person setting. No travel time. Appointments can be back-to-back. For perspective, notarized B2B model integrates a real estimate estate that and legal workflows, creating reoccurring revenue streams. Vibe Tandem's RON services can start a modest contributor, say a few $1,000s monthly locally, but has the potential to reach hundreds of thousands or more annually if scaled regionally. Long-term, RON could be a multi-million-dollar line business as more industries, real estate, healthcare, government, adopt the digital notarization and the company expands nationwide. Segment 2. Physical to digital. Scalable mass digitization. Upload Lab. The second phase of Vibe Tandem's evolution addresses a pain point Christopher observed. After notarizing documents, clients had a paper that needed safekeeping or sharing. Entering the Upload Lab, Vibe Tandem's initiative to convert physical documents into digital format at scale. This phase transforms the company from a single service notary into a broader digital service provider. Vision and growth builds a mass digitization service that can handle everything from a single import document like birth certificates or deeds to the entire file cabinets for small businesses. The Upload Lab envisions as a combination of services and technology. Customers hand over their paper or mail it in or schedule a pickup. And Vibe Tandem scans, indexes, and uploads it to a secure cloud vault where it can be easily accessed. The vision is to eventually automate this process as much as possible, perhaps even mobile scanning units or self-service kiosks. By doing so, Vibe Tandem grows into a company that not only notarizes documents but manages documents. This aligns with Christopher's missions of community empowerment, helping individuals and businesses modernize their records for the digital age. Market opportunity. The document scanning, the digitization market is well established and still growing for the digital transformation era. Globally, document scanning services are expected to reach $3.58 billion in 2025 and grow about $5 billion by 2032. Companies large and small are racing to digitize archives and enable to remote work and save storage costs. In the U.S. alone, the document digitization industry is estimated around $8 billion in 2024. This represents a huge opportunity for Vibe Tandem Upload Lab. especially if it can offer affordable, efficient solutions for small businesses, for nonprofits, and local governments that often lag in digitization. An example of an industry leader, Iron Mountain, has built a robust business around scanning and digitized storage, boasting secure facilities and even services like handling inbound mail scanning. Vibe Tandem doesn't just need to beat these giants at the game, rather to capture and understand underserved segments, perhaps local historic societies, community clinics, or regional banks that need digitization but aren't targeted by bigger providers. Competitor and benchmarks. Iron Mountain is a benchmark for full-service documentation management. They highlight how Digitize frees up to 2,006 employees hours and saves $2,111K in storage costs for clients over a few years. Other competitors include specialization scanning firms and office supply stores that offer scanning. What's Vibe Tandem's edge? Being small and agile and with a personal touch. Christopher can leverage community contracts and land projects like digitization and local library records or a veteran organization's paperwork, using these case studies and demonstrate value. Efficiency and accuracy are key benchmarks. High volume scanners, OCR, optical character recognition technology makes PDF searchable, and rigorous quality control will be needed to meet industrial standards. Ultimately, Vibe Tandem can differentiate by bundling notary plus scanning plus cloud storage in one package, which most single-focused competitors do not. Operational and technical strategy. In this phase, the company might invest in scanning equipment and develop the upload lab workflow. Operationally, this could start small. One high-speed scanner, one technician, perhaps Christopher himself initially, and a simple web portal for clients to access their scan files as demand grows. Vibe Tandem could set up dedicated facility processing documents or even mobile scanning to go to client sites. Technical strategy includes incorporating OCR and indexing software that clients' documents are just images, but searchable files. Christopher Data's background will help in design a secure database that perhaps basic analytics, for example, tracking which types of documents are most digitized, refined, and services offering also ensuring privacy and security, encrypted storage and confidentiality agreements, and critical as handling sensitive information, contracts, medical records, etc. carries responsibility. Over time, the Upload Lab could even evolve into some self-service platform where clients can upload their own scans or requests, pick up easily, making it scalable beyond local regions. Revenue potential. Digitization services can generate revenue per page per project. For instance, charging a few clients per page for large projects at a flat fee per box of documents. A single small business contract to digitize and say 50 boxes of files can be worth several $1,000s. Recurring revenue can also come from cloud storage fees. Once documents are digitized, clients may pay Vibe Tandem to host and manage them like mini document management system subscriptions. Over 1 to 3 years, Upload Lab could grow into a side income, possibly in outpacing notary revenue, especially with business clients. If Vibe Tandem captures even a fraction of percent of the global scanning market by year 5, that's millions of revenue. 1% of 5 billion market is 50 million. And conservatively, a steady growth to a few $100,000 annual revenue regional contracts is sustainable in a few years, which would significantly boost the company's value and attract to investors. Segment 3. Cloud management from outsourcing to proprietary infrastructure. As Vibe Tandem services, Ron and Upload Lab gain traction, the backbone holding it all together is cloud computing. In the beginning, like most startups, Vibe Tandem would rely on third-party cloud providers, AWS and Azure, to host its application and data. Phase 3 of its business model envisions a shift from renting cloud infrastructure to building a proprietary internal infrastructure. While this is a long-term play. It is key to being an IPO ready and controlling costs at scale. Vision for growth. Developing a private cloud infrastructure purpose built for Vibe Tandem services. The vision isn't to rival Amazon outright, but to achieve a level of self-sufficiency and optimization that can both improve margins and perhaps become a selling point. Your data is on Vibe Tandem secure servers, not on a public cloud. My experience in data science and IT comes into play heavily here, designing an architecture that can handle large volumes of documents, video notarizations, and later AI computations efficiently. This phase is about scalability, ensuring that the company's technology can handle growth to millions of transactions along, doing so in a cost-effective way. This, if successful, Vibe Tandem would own the rails it runs on, which is a hallmark of companies ready for IPO or acquisition. Because if they have full control of their tech stack, then the sky is the limit. Market opportunity. Why move off a third-party cloud? Cost and control. As usage grows, cloud hosting bills can skyrocket. For example, Dropbox famously saved $75 million over 2 years by shifting from AWS to its own data centers. That kind of savings can be reinvested into growth and passing on to customers. Furthermore, having proprietary infrastructure could allow Vibe Tandem to offer bespoke cloud services to certain clients. Image offering to store a hospital's records on Vibe servers in a specialized way. Broader market trend shows that once a tech company reaches a certain scale, owning infrastructure can be a strategic advantage. There's also an opportunity in marketing with increasing concerns over data sovereignty and security. Vibe Tandem could position its private cloud as an extra secure and compliant, attracting clients in sectors like legal, finance, and healthcare who prefer not to use generic public clouds for sensitive data. Competitor and benchmark. A benchmark example is indeed Dropbox, which after it grows huge on AWS, built its own infrastructure, Magic Pocket, and migrated 90% of user data in-house. This move increased Dropbox gross margins significantly. Another example of how big financial institutions often build private clouds for compliant reasons. Vibe Tandem at the smaller scale can emulate these strategies. In terms of direct competitors, most startups in notarizations or scanning will be using a public cloud service. If Vibe Tandem invests here, it could outpace them in performance of cutting cost structure eventually. However, developing infrastructure is expensive and technology challenge. A misstep could hamper the company. So Vibe Tandem would likely do this gradually. Maybe start off by calculating some servers and storage-heavy tasks like scan documents, archives, while still using AWS for global delivery. Then progressing, increasing its own infrastructure. Operationally and technically, strategy. Initially stick with the reliable cloud services to launch quickly, and then use the user base data, grow, perform, and cost-benefit analysis on where owning hardware makes sense. The likely approach to build a hybrid cloud, continue leveraging public cloud for what makes sense. Ease of scaling certain AI services, but to create a private cloud for its core storage and proprietary applications. Technically, this means investing in servers, possibly in leasing data center space, hiring contracting network engineers. My role would shift into overseeing this technical expansion, ensuring that building an internal cloud does not distract from delivering services. One strategy could be partnering with existing data center providers and using open source cloud management tools like OpenStack to get running a start. Security, uptime, and disaster recovery plans must also be top-notch as the company takes on this responsibility. Over time, if executed well, Vibe Tandem's platform can even be offered as a service to others. For instance, offering its notarization documentation management engine to other businesses on Vibe's cloud, adding a potential B2B revenue stream. Revenue and cost impact. This phase is less about generating new revenue and more about improving profitability and control. In the short term, it is a cost center. purchasing equipment, hiring talent, but a long-term payoff is substantial. Reducing dependency on third-party providers means keeping more of the revenue as profit. For example, if Vibe Tandem in 5 years is spending, say, $500K on its AWS and investing $300K in its own infrastructure, it can cut that cost to $200K. That's $300 saved annually. Those savings improve margins or can fund other innovations. Additionally, owning infrastructure can enable new premium services like dedicated private call-out offerings for big clients, which will create new revenue investors and often look favorably on companies that own the core technology. It can increase tech valuation multiples. However, it is crucial that the core services notary digitization are throwing off enough cash to justify this move. Otherwise, it would stretch out a startup too thin. Done right, by the time Vibe Tandem is ready for an IPO, it can probably say it runs on its own scalable, secure cloud, a sign of mature tech enterprise. Segment 4. Basic Data Analytics to AI-Powered Enterprise Platform. Universal Enterprise Software System. In the final phase of its evolution, Vibe Tandem transformed into a proprietary AI-powered enterprise platform, internationally dubbed Universal Enterprise Software Systems. This is the accumulation of Christopher's data science aspirations, turning the wealth of data and process handled by Vibe Tandem into actionable intelligence and unified software solutions for clients. Essentially, Vibe Tandem evolves from a service company into a tech product company. Vision for growth: developed an integrated AI-driven platform that offers end-to-end solutions from document intake, notarizations, or scanning, to storage and management, cloud, all the way to analytics and insights. The idea is that once Vibe Tandem handles company documents and transactions, it can also help them leverage that data. For example, an enterprise client could use the platform to automatically analyze notarized documents or digitize records for trends, or integrate them to their workflows. The term Universal Enterprise Software System implies that a one-stop shop evolution for various needs, also including workflow, automation, compliance checks, and a dashboard with AI analytics. My personal goal is to become a data scientist, and research directly feeds into this vision. I want to build an AI that can read the stack of uploaded contracts, flag key points, predict when a business might need a certain document next. This is where Vibe Tandem aims at complete, not just a service provider, but a tech innovator. Market opportunity. The market for AI-powered enterprise software is massive and rapidly growing. The global enterprise AI market is projected to reach $58 billion by 2025, and then skyrocket to $474 billion by 2030, an astonishing 52% CAGR. Every industry looking to adopt AI solutions is streamlining operations. For Vibe Tandem, the niche is in bridging unstructured physical data, paper legacy processes, and the digital analyzable realm. There is a huge opportunity in sectors like law, finance, healthcare, government, and mountains of paperwork and data could be made more useful with AI. Palantir, and for instance, built a $2 billion a year business providing AI-driven platforms for enterprises and governments. Their success, Palantir hit $1 billion revenue 17 years after founding, and $2.5 billion revenue by 2023. Shows the demand for platforms that can turn data decisions. Vibe Tandem's opportunity to carve out space by focusing on document-centric AI workflows, essentially becoming the Palantir for document and processing management for mid-sized organizations. It achieves this position in the company's high-value market subscription-based software revenues, which investors love for their scalability, the competitor and benchmark. There are big players in the enterprise software and AI. Palantir, IBM with Watson, Microsoft with Azure AI and Power Platform, and smaller ones like C3 AI, which offers enterprise AI applications. Completely directly with giants is tough. Vibe Tandem can find a sweet spot. One benchmark which could be OpenText or DocuSign's companies that started in document management e-signatures and layered on advanced capabilities. DocuSign, for example, acquired an AI company to analyze contracts. Vibe Tandem's differentiator is that it touches a full chain notarization, scanning, storage. Thus can integrate AI in each step seamlessly. A startup competitor might emerge, focusing on AI notaries for AI digitization. Vibe Tandem will need to stay ahead of it by continuously innovating, which is why it has an in-house R&D mindset with my academic pursuits is valuable. Essentially, the company benchmarks itself against the best of both worlds, the service reliability in traditional firms and cutting-edge AI in top tech firms. If it can meet somewhere in the middle, it can have a unique market position. Operationally and technically, strategy building a proprietary AI platform is ambitious. Initially, Vibe Tandem would start with basic analytics, for example, by providing clients with reports how many documents they notarized and digitized, turnaround times, etc. Then gradually introduce machine learning, maybe an algorithm to automatically classify documents, distinguishing a contract from an invoice, or for instance, my coursework and research can directly inform these features. The strategy would include hiring data scientists, engineers, as the company grows, or collaborating with universities, maybe leveraging Carnegie Mellon talent, a key technical component for delivering enterprise software system, UESS, a cloud application like using the proprietary infrastructure from phase 3. This means creating an interface where clients log in to do everything, request a notary, upload documents, search their archives, and see AI-generated insights. The AI might use the natural language processing to read document text, or the machine learning to detect anomalies, an unsigned field on a form. Operationally, this transforms Vibe Tandem into a software as a service SaaS provider, implying a shift from subscription pricing, dedicated customer support, and continual software updates. It will be important to phase these advanced features. If so, existing clients are overwhelmed and the product can be tested incrementally. By the end of this phase, Vibe Tandem aims to have an enterprise-grade software platform that can be pitched to large clients and even licensed out widely. Revenue potential. This is where revenue can become exponential. Enterprise software typically runs a subscription license, which means recurring revenue. If Vibe Tandem can develop a robust AI platform, it could charge a per company basis. For instance, a law firm pays an annual fee to use the platform for all its documentation, management, and notarization needs. This model scales incredibly well with selling the name software to many clients. The addressable market is huge, even capturing 0.1 of the 400 billion enterprise AI software market would have be 400 million in revenue. But realistically, if the years 7 through 10, Vibe Tandem can say 500 mid-sized clients at $500K each, plausible scenario enterprise, that software as a service, that is 25 million annual revenue. The combination of service revenues from earlier phases and software revenue, this phase would make Vibe Tandem a strong IPO candidate. Higher margins from software, which can be 70 to 80% gross margin, will dramatically improve the company's financial profile. Investors will seek this kind of product pivot, where the service-based company turns it into a tech platform, and it can justify much higher valuations, similar to how Amazon went from just an online bookstore to a tech giant. In short, the phase unlocks the in-game revenue streams that turn Vibe Tandem from a successful small business into a potentially high-growth tech company.
SWOT analysis, Vibe Tandem. To access Vibe Tandem's overall strategic position, let's break down its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths: mission-driven leadership. My unique background as a veteran, activist, data science fuels a mission of trust, service, and innovation. This passion can be inspired by employees to attract customers who believe in the vision. This also opens the door to veteran entrepreneur networks and brands. Integrated service vision. Vibe Tandem isn't just one service. It's an ecosystem, notary, digitization, cloud, and AI. It is end-to-end offering, and its key strength, as clients can get comprehensive solutions from one provider to then switching together many vendors. Agility and focus. As a startup, Vibe Tandem can be nimble. It can adopt to new technologies faster than big competitors, tailor services to customer feedback quickly. Being small also means every client gets personal attention, building strong relationships and referrals. Growing digital market. The company is riding strong tailwinds. The world is going digital, remote, and AI driven. This micro trend provides momentum and plenty of room for Vibe Tandem to grow without needing to create demand from scratch. Weaknesses. Limited resources. Currently, Vibe Tandem is in the early stages. Likely with a small team, limited capital, it must prioritize carefully, trying to develop tech like AI and infrastructure, while also delivering services that stretch the company thin. Broad Scope Challenge, covering 4 distinct segments: notary, scanning, cloud, and AI, is ambitious. Each segment has specialized competitors. The risk is being a jack of all trades and a master of none. If not executed well, the company might ensure quality in each service as it expands. Market awareness. As a new entrant, Vibe Tandem lacks brand recognition. Trust is crucial for services like notarization, data handling. Many potential clients have heard of Vibe Tandem. Building credibility, especially against all established players, is a hurdle. Technology development risk. The plan hinges on developing proprietary tech, infrastructure, AI, platform. There's risk of delays and technical challenges. If the software isn't as good as promised, or the infrastructure has issues, it could hurt the reputation and finances. Opportunities. Post the pandemic digital norms. With remote work normalizing, services like RON, cloud documentation access are not just nice to have, they're expected. Vibe Tandem can capitalize on organizations needing to digitize fast and adapt to the new normal. Untapped niche markets. Many small towns, rural areas, or niche industries, local clinics, churches, small law firms are underserved by big tech companies. Vibe Tandem can be the go-to provider in these niche, building a loyal customer base with less competition initially. Partners and alliances. There's opportunity to partner with law firms, real estate agents, government programs. For example, a state Veterans Affairs office might partner with Vibe Tandem to provide free notarizations for scanning for veterans, boosting social impact and giving Vibe Tandem a wider exposure. Innovation and AI boom. The rapid advancement in AI can be leveraged by Vibe Tandems to offer cutting-edge features with all in-house development. For instance, integrating AI services like AWS Tesseract for OCR and OpenAI ChatGPT for document analysis can accelerate the creation of enterprise platform. This means Vibe Tandem can offer sophisticated solutions relatively quickly, riding the wave of AI innovation. Also, there's significant investor interest in AI startups, making it easier to attract funding by highlighting this aspect. Threats. Competition. Each segment has fierce competitors: notary startups, Notarized, Notary Cam, big scanning companies, Iron Mountain, cloud giants, AWS and Google, and AI firms like Palantir and Microsoft all occupy the space Vibe Tandem is entering. Anyone could decide and encroach on Vibe integrated territory. Iron Mountain is adding notary services, or DocuSign adding scanning and storage, which would directly challenge Vibe's model. Regulatory and legal risk, especially in notarization. Laws vary by state and country. A change in regulation, for example, Similarly, if revolutionary new tech, say quantum computing or AI comes, larger competitors might adopt it faster. Economic climate. As a startup, Vibe Tandem is sensitive to economic conditions. There's a downturn, small businesses might cut spending, digitization, investors might become more risk averse, and it could be harder to raise capital. Also, large companies might lower prices and squeeze out smaller ones in tough times. The overall SWOT analysis shows that Vibe Tandem has a compelling vision, element with market trends, strength and opportunities, but it must navigate integral resource limits, heavy competition, weakness, and threats. With strategic focus doubling down on its strengths, like integration and community trust, it can mitigate many weaknesses, and by seizing key opportunities like partnerships and quick AI adoption, it can outspace some threats. This situational awareness will be crucial as we consider the company's projections and investors' outlook. Market projections and investor outlook. Finally, let's talk about the future, where Vibe Tandem could be in 1, 3, or 7 years. What do investors think? What are the possible outcomes for this venture? We'll balance speculative optimism with real-world realism. The early-stage investors. In the early stages, likely investors will be angel investors and seed funds who believe in the founder and the vision. My veteran status might attract veteran-focused investors or grants. For example, organizations like Patriot Boot Camp or Veteran Ventures or the Veteran Leadership Program. The local economic development grants or incubators, perhaps through Penn State or Carnegie Mellon's network, could provide initial funding or support. As Vibe Tandem gains traction, by the end of Phase 2, for instance, it could approach venture capital, VC firms that specialize in B2B, software as a service, or prop tech, legal tech. The fact that notarized secure funding, firms like Capital G, Google's Growth Fund, and CTI Ventures shows that big VCs are interested in the space. So, a plausible path is small angel seed, round to build MVPs, bonds and upload labs, then a series of aid from a VC to expand to cloud and AI development. If Vibe Tandem shows significant user growth or contract wins by year 3, larger VC rounds or strategic investors like a document management company or a cloud provider investing could come on board. Exit potential. Acquisition versus IPO. Vibe Tandem endgame could be a couple of ways. One possibility is acquisition by a larger company. For instance, a company like DocuSign or Adobe might acquire Vibe Tandem and integrate on and document digitization into their offerings. Iron Mountain or another record management firm could see Vibe Tandem as a tech forward bolt-on acquisition to modernize their services. An acquisition could happen in the year 5 to 7 range if Vibe Tandem builds unique tech and strong customer base. Another dream scenario is IPO. But Vibe Tandem's successfully scaled all 4 phases has strong revenue stream, particularly in the high margin software revenue. It could pursue an IPO to fuel further expansion. Being an IPO ready means having solid financials and compelling growth story and a stable infrastructure, which is exactly what the phase growth is aiming at to achieve. Many tech companies in similar spaces like Palantir, which IPO in 2020, or C3IA in 2021, have gone public once they approach a few $100 million in revenue and strong growth projections. Vibe Tandem, an IPO might be 7 to 10 years out. Once it has a foothold and needs ROI and outlook. Investors will be looking at ROI, return on investment, potential at each stage. Early angels might target a 10 times return by exit, which is a common in startups. If TANDEM achieves even a fraction of its vision, these returns are feasible. Let's project in terms of market share, revenue, and scale of services in 3 milestones. Year 1, realistic versus speculative. In the first year, the focus is on proving the concept realistically. TANDEM might operate regionally, say in one state or city, completing a few hundred notarizations, a few scanning projects. Revenue might be modest, perhaps $50K to $100K in total, as the company is still building its tools and client base. The market share is tiny, maybe a fraction of a percent of the local market. But the key success is building case studies or having its customer base. From an investor standpoint, the company would be valued mostly on future potential at this stage. Speculatively, optimistic scenario. If things go extremely well, TANDEM should secure a partnership in year 1. For example, a deal with a local bank chain to handle all the remote notaries and document scanning. This could boost revenue to $200K range and expand its reach to multiple state area quickly. An angel investor in an optimistic case sees that the concept is validated early and might double down funding. In either scenario, by end of year 1, the goal is to have evidence that the integrated model works on a small scale, given a green light for further investment. Year 3. By the third year, TANDEM should be in a growth mode. Realistically, the company could have expanded its services to several states, growing with regulatory approvals. And the upload lab might have a handful of sizable clients. It could be starting to implement its own infrastructure elements, maybe an alpha version of the AI platform for internal use. Revenue in a conservative case might reach $1 to $2 million by year 3, coming from a mix of services and fees and early subscription pilots of the software program. Market share might still be small nationally, maybe 1% of the RON market in its states it operates. A sliver of its scanning, maybe a sliver of its scanning market, but its focused niche, say among veterans-owned businesses or particular states, could be a known player. Speculatively, if growth is faster, perhaps TANDEM by year 3 lands a statewide contract. Image a state government using Vive for all its remote notarizations or chains and hospitals hiring them to digitize records. Revenue could be substantially higher, maybe 5 to 10 million. That is a bullish scenario. AI platform might start controlling revenue in some enterprise clients. More important growth. Investors at this point likely Series A or B stage look at metrics like customer acquisition, cost retention, and the growth rate. Healthy outlook where would be, for example, doubling revenue year over year heading into year 4. The ROI for early investors is looking positively on paper, but they will stay in until the bigger payoff at exit. Year 7. 7 years in around the time the IPO, the major acquisition could loom. If all goes to plan, realistically, if TANDEM steady executed, it could be a solid mid-sized company. Perhaps it achieves 20 to 30 million in annual revenue by year 7, with a balanced portfolio and nationwide RON services aimed and armed a flourished digitization business, a nascent but growing AI software client base. It may hold a small but respectable market share in each segment, maybe 2 to 3% of the U.S. digital notary market, a percent of the regional scanning market, and a handful of enterprise AI clients. At this level, an acquisition might offer some. For instance, a larger enterprise software firm might say 100 to 150 million to acquire Vibe Tandem or its technology and client base. If investors compare this to their real initial investments, they can indeed be on the order of 10 times returns or more, depending on the entry valuation. Speculatively optimistic, if Vibe Tandem really catches fire, say its AI platform becomes a hit in a particular industry, year 7 revenue could be even in the 50 million range. The company could be valued at $700 million, unicorn territory. If that case, an IPO would be a natural step, raising capital to expand internationally or into adjacent industries. Investors in this dream scenario could see enormous ROI, like 20 times or higher. They could see Vibe Tandem as a potential market leader. The investor outlook both scenarios is positive by year 7, but the scale differs. One is good outcome, a successful niche player with a sellout or moderate IPO. The other is a breakout success, a major IPO and a category disruptor.